All right, so Inbox Zero was something that was created by Merlin Mann a couple of years ago. And this, in conjunction with GTD, Getting Things Done by David Allen, has kept me at least somewhat sane. A lot saner than I normally would be. And I've turned some friends on to Inbox Zero, and they've all told me that this has been a game changer. And how many people you know, I mean, right now, I mean, have hundreds of emails in their email inbox. When I see friends, I was at a training thing, and I looked over, saw the person next to me, and she had 300 something emails and the little red circle on her iPhone. I about flipped out. And she's like, "Oh yeah, that's normal." And I pulled up my phone, and I was like, "Look," had like four emails. She's like, a colonel I used to work with was like, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe you only have 5 emails in your inbox. I've got like 1,500." I'm like, "Funny thing, dude, you need email inbox or inbox zero, whatever." So the problem with email, there's a couple of problems with email. One is that people run email program in the background all the time. This is a mistake because whenever a new email pops up, there's a little banner notification that pops up in the bottom right hand corner, or pops up in the top right hand corner if you're on a Mac, or it goes bing on the top, or it makes a noise, or something, or your iPhone or Android, it dings that. Turn off your notifications. Just turn them off. All right. Um, don't run your email inbox all the time. Don't just turn off your email. One of the problems with Microsoft Outlook is that that's got your calendar in it, that's got your email inbox in it, and it's got other things as well. Your contact list. That sounds like a great idea, but it's not. Okay, there's this myth out there that we multitask. You can multitask when you walk and chew bubblegum, but you can't multitask when you're writing a proposal and also scanning incoming emails to see if it's important. Believe it or not, you think that you are, but you're not. You just lost some efficiency, and it takes a while for your brain to fully plug back into the train of thought that you were having. All right. And as David Allen talks about in his book Getting Things Done, or someplace, I can't remember where, he talked about how we are great at scanning the environment for threats. You are able to see that that bear is a possible threat, or that snake is a threat, but you can't scan your emails, and it automatically just pops out which one of these emails is the threat, which one of these emails is life changing. So if you can't readily see which one is the dangerous one, therefore they are all the dangerous one. So since that is our starting point, which is not a very good starting point, we also work in an environment where a lot of people like to reply all, which is absolutely stupid. Friends don't let friends reply all. Sometimes it's necessary, 99.999 recurring. It is not necessary. Don't do it. All right? Just take a super soaker or some water balloons at work, and when somebody replies all, just splash them. All right? Break them out of the habit. Just like you do with cats. Bad cats. All right? Just do that. So that, and also a lot of people, they treat emails as if it was a text messaging device, and they'll email you 50 billion trillion things. I'm as guilty as this as anybody. All right, maybe not, but we're all guilty of that. If it's really important, they'll call you, they'll text you. All right. I was working with a master sergeant one time, and we went on a long road trip, and we came back, and there were a lot of emails in his email inbox. He only been gone for a day and a half, and holy cow, look at all these emails. So he was he just laughed, and he selected the top one, shift selected the last one, delete, and I looked at it, I was like, what? He says, if it's important, they'll call me. Well, he's right. If it's really important, somebody will get back to you. All right. But more on that later. You'll see why that's not really the best practice. All right. So inbox zero. So one, when you have your email bot, your email client program, whatever, turned off. And I have a lot of projects that I'm working on throughout the day. So I may have to design a flyer or a newsletter. I may have to make some phone calls with some clients. I may have to do this or this or this or this. These things have my attention for that particular time. So if I'm talking to a client, I can't also be, juggling chainsaws or flaming chihuahuas. I'm talking to a client. You have to treat your email as a project as well. When I'm processing my email, I am processing my email. I'm not looking at my email like, gee, I wish I had something else to work on. Let me look into my email, see if there is anything here. No. Your goal when you process your email inbox is to process your email inbox. This may take 5 minutes. This may take an hour or more or less. All right. So when you process your email inbox, there's these 4 things. I think Merlin Man has 5 things, or I've seen other people list 5, 6 things, whatever. I like the alliteration, and this is easier for me to remember. Just the 4 Ds. Just remember the 4 Ds: delete, delegate, do, and defer. So remember, when you process your emails, I'm processing the emails. I'm not looking for another project to do. So that's key, because if it's an email that requires me to do something, if it's going to take more than 2 minutes, then I'm going to look to see if I can delegate it or if I can defer it. But if it's under 2 minutes, I'm just go ahead and knock it out, because the time it takes me to put in the new task, to do this email and select the date and the calendar, I could have already done it. All right, so 2 minutes, just do it. All right, so when we go to our email, all right, you want to scan all the emails and find the one that's important. Don't do that. I used to start at the bottom and work my way up, but what I quickly realized is that I would reply to an email, I'd reply to an email, and then when I get to the top, I realized that, somebody would reply that we've already got it figured out, thanks for trying. And even though I just spent, 3 emails, a couple hours trying to figure some stuff out, whatever. So start at the top and work your way down. Don't skip. Don't jump around. Don't look for the most important one. Start at the top, work your way down, because this isn't look for work area. This is process email area. So start at the top. All right, funny thing. I just got this. Hey, drink your health. What is this stuff? I don't know. Peppermint patty. Actually, this looks pretty good. Butter cider. All right. Funny thing. You know what? I just got this. So I'm actually going to make this an item. So I'm going to go to my to-do list, OmniFocus. I'm going to send it to to-do. And because I'm interested in this peppermint thing here. All right. So try drink recipe. All right. So save. So when I go to my OmniFocus, this is the task manager that I use. All right. And I'm going to delete that. So there's a link right here. So when I click on this, it'll open up the email. So there it is. Boom. All right. I could also copy this and put this in Evernote. I could put this in a Google Drive file or some other record keeping system. I mean, I'm not going to bore you the tears on that. But I could put this in place, whatever to try, that makes sense for me. Whatever. Point is there. I'm going to archive it or I'm going to delete it. All right. It's a funny thing. And this should actually still work. Yep, there it is. So even though I archived it and it's no longer in my email box, that link still works. All right. There's other ways you can do that, but the point is get it out of your email inbox. Okay, cool. Next, email. I'm not skipping down. I'm staying at the top. Grid squares. Find me some grid squares. Okay, funny thing. Delete, delegate, do, defer. It's not my first time, it's not my first rodeo. I know what this means. This is a practical joke you play on Boots. So you know what? I'm going to actually forward this to somebody. And I'm actually going to use my own emails for lack of, I don't want to get anybody else going. So whatever. I'm going to forward to them. And then I'm going to delete it or archive it. I'll just go ahead and delete it. All right. So if it was something that was not important, like, go get some grid squares, I don't care when it's done, fine, whatever. Or if it's something that I want to make sure that, Bob actually did the thing that was necessary, I may put a new task in here. Check with Bob about grid squares. And learn how to type. All right, I'm going to say waiting. In GTD system and OmniFocus, the way I use waiting is, I'll show you in a second. I'm going to say I want to check on Bob, make sure he has this done by Monday. All right, and in the email, sure, I might have communicated better with Bob about the specifics. Whatever. Cool, so there it is. And so waiting, I'm going to click on this waiting perspective here, and these are all the things that are waiting. So like tomorrow, these are things that I'm waiting for responses from other people. So, I'm receiving responses about other things, and make sure it's done. You know, I'm receiving post-training agendas. I mean, all these things I'm waiting for someone else. So once I've contacted them to see if it's done, I put it in my task list to receive it, to check on it, to wait on it. All right, and there's a date associated with it, or there's not. Uh, so now that that's done, I can either delete it or I can archive it. I'm just going ahead and delete it. All right. People will send you a file. Here's an important file. Cool beans. All right. So the thing about files is that people will take it and they'll put it in their desktop. Don't do that. I mean, yeah, this is a workspace. All right, cool. Now, where do I want to put it? Let's see. Let me think about this. But don't keep 50, 60 things on your desktop, because that's not really storing it. That's just a cluttered mess. Take it, stick it someplace. It's filed. I actually did that earlier. I didn't mean to do that. Move, replace. Cool. It's filed. You know where it is. It's done. It's clean. Cool. So this, you can delete it, or you can archive it. I'm going to archive it. Cool. Please review this in-depth proposal for an agreement with the Trade Federation. Oh my gosh, look at all this craziness. All right. It doesn't say in here by noon today or right now, or we are sitting outside the boardroom waiting for you to save us right now. No, it just says please review this. So there's not like a rush on it right now. So because again, you may be working on this, may be your email processing time, but you may get the email from your boss that says, "Hey, I need this thing done right now." And it's going to take you more than 2 minutes to do it. So guess what you're doing? You just shifted your project from email work to whatever this new thing is. Funny thing, that's life. So right now, there's no, this is not on fire, so I can defer this. All right, so the way that I do it for my system, you can do this all sorts of ways. You can put this in a particular email folder. So got all these boxes, and you can create a folder of deferred stuff if you want to that stores it, or you can, whatever. The way that I do it, because I work on a Mac, is that I will actually send it to my OmniFocus. So since I send it to OmniFocus, and I'm going to say save. So you see it right here. All right, so review a long proposal. I could put in some deferred date, due date, whatever. And again, if I click on the link right there, there it is. So I'm going to take this, and I just archive things. I don't create folders anymore. There's no need, right? Because it's still anything right there. And if I want to make sure I get it done on Monday, I'll put it on Monday. And then when I go in the forecast view, you'll see that on Monday, check a Bob Grid Squares. There it is. Receive a reward from boot that Grid Squares ever found. Review long proposal. All right. So, funny thing. Next email. Check travel arrangement of guests for Rick and Morty convention. Let's make sure that everything is perfect for Tiny Rick when he shows up. We'll also need a lot of extra towels to safeguard from mass panic. Wubba lubba dub dub. Bird person. Cool thing. All right, so this is kind of important, and it's not actually going to take me that long at all to do this. I can actually pretty knock this out right now. Remember, delegate, delete, do, defer. So I can actually do this right now. So I'm going to beep, beep, pop, pop, call somebody on the telephone. Hey, do we got reservations for Tiny Rick? Yes, we do. Okay, cool. Appreciate that. All right, cool. And I can reply, type back, done, awesome, archive, out of my way. Next email. Free erasers for life. Okay, this is one of those spam emails, suspicious looking female. There's bad grammar. These things are hilarious. I'm going to just hit junk or delete, defer, or whatever, so just delete it. All right. Order a box of pneumatic fluid. All right, I already did this one. This is an example I did earlier. This is like my 5th attempt to record this sucker. I'm going to delete that. All right, audible.com, new credits. Already read it. Greatgear.com, delete it. Funny thing, no email left. My inbox is 0. Look at my archive. Like 223 in my archive. All right. So 0. The good thing about this is that I have processed every email. I know that everyone has been addressed adequately in what is necessary. What I could do, I've done. What I need to address, I address. So the things that I have to actually do are in my system. They're in my task management system here. So I can go in here, I can go into context, and I can say, hey, what do I got for emails? Okay, these are emails that I have to write. Funny thing. All right. Or if I'm on my computer, what are some things on the computer that I can do? all right, or whatever. If I'm waiting for something, waiting context. Here are things that I'm waiting for responses from other people. There's no worries. And if somebody goes, hey, I wish we sent you a thing about Firefly earlier, and could you send us that folder back? Well, guess what? Back under my system, I can easily go into my Google Drive because I know exactly where it is. Boom, here it is, Firefly. Put it into the email, send it. Everything is where it's at. There's no stress here, and there's no extra work.